Hello there. We are going to be creating a one scene animation today and look at some different ways of motions and also using costume changes. Jumping right over, so I've logged into my Scratch account, and you always want to confirm that by making sure that you see your login name here and not join and login written there. Once you're here, you can open your existing projects. You can look at it by clicking on MyStuff, or you can create a new project from here. Or, okay, I want to start by remixing an existing project. I have the project number already copied, so I pasted it on the URL, on the browser URL, and I am pressing enter. So it's going to open up a project which has been created by Panchtantra Programming, and you can say that the nature sprites by Panchtantra Programming, and you can see I'm logged in as Shweta Lakhimpur. Now I am able to see two buttons here, remix and see inside. Now remember, I'm seeing the remix button here because this project belongs to some other user. If the project belonged to me, I will not be seeing the remix button at all. You will see that once the project is loaded, the remix button will be enabled. So I'm going to click on the remix button. So it is remixing the project. Now what does remixing mean? It is going to make a copy of this project for me. Now the Scratch community, it is a community. That means people on it, and they're popularly known as Scratchers. It enables Scratchers to communicate, work and interact with each other. It is encouraged that you do look at each other's project, give them a heart if you like it, remix it if you like and you want to enhance it or work on it. You just have to remember to give credits to the original author. Now there are other ways of sharing, and we will make a video tutorial on that separately. Now that we have this project, so the reason I took this is because it has got tree, some birdies, animals, stuff like that, which I want to use for today's project. Now I do want to give this project a little text, let's keep it to that. So how to do that? I'm going to go to backdrop, and I just want it to be a static text. I'm not really looking to move the text. So I'm coming to backdrop, and here I'm going to take text and using the green color, be one with nature. Okay. So that's my text, and you will see it's right here, and if I want I can change its position. Right. So this is my backdrop. It's called backdrop 1 by default. When a project is created, I can call it something scene. Okay, so now let's see what are these sprites I want from here. The ones which I do not want, I can just delete them. Right? When you click on a sprite, you will see a delete button and you can delete them. Now the ones which you need, so I definitely want a tree to start with. The reason you're not seeing is because it is currently marked hide. So I'm going to show it up. So when you're creating a scene, one of the best things to do is first just place your objects the way you want them on the scene, and after that you start coding them. And you do make sure that you do initialization. That means using the code also you set their position. So I definitely wanted the tree, so I have that. I'm okay with the size because I want little space on top to show. So I'll keep it to 90. Now I'm going to bring a frog. So I'm going to make it show. Wow, it's really set large. I definitely don't want it that large. So I'm going to make it to 20. And where you are, froggy. So I want the frog. So I'm going to, I had to move the tree a little bit to drag it along. Okay, it is not saving. I'm just going to, and now I'm going to head over to our crow. So if you look at the crow, as you click on the sprites, you can also look at the kind of costumes it has. So you can see our crow has got this beautiful flying and sitting costume, a lot of them. And there is a swan. So again, I'm going to enable that. Here is our swan. Let's just have it here, sitting. So let's change the size of the crow to maybe 70. And the swan to so I'm going to bring a butterfly in. So let's get this butterfly and make it 50. Oh, I didn't select the whole thing. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you end up moving the whole thing. That's why you're going to do all this through coding. Where's the butterfly hiding? We have sufficient characters for our nature scene. I'm going to call this project Be One with Nature. Now let's see how do we want to animate the scene. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the butterfly fly in and come and sit on top here on this branch. And then we're going to have the crow is going to be sitting here, and then we're going to make it fly and sit on top of the basket. It can go up like this and maybe come down here. And we're going to have the frog. Yeah, frog is slightly looking large. We'll make it smaller and we'll just have it hop and come and sit somewhere. Maybe here. Maybe here. And then we'll decide what we want to do with the swan. So we have to be in the coding section area for our project. And we know it is butterfly's code because we can see the butterfly here. Remember in Scratch, this is every object has its own coding area. So when you click on different sprites, you can see the coding area changing. I'm not likely to use the elephant, so I'm going to just delete it. I'm going to start fixing the place for the tree so that even if it moves, I don't have to worry about it. I will go to event and I say at the start of the scene, I want to just make sure that this is the backdrop it picks up. the fuzz thing. Okay, I'm just going to increase this code size so you can see it clearly. So when green flag play, I'm switching the backdrop to, it's already selected, scene. So whenever we click the green flag, this is what will happen. This scene will be visible. And now I'm going to tell each and every character what to do when this scene's backdrop called scene is displayed. So I'm going to go to event and pick up when backdrop switches to scene. I want this tree to be visible. So I'm going to show it. I want it to be positioned here. So if you look at go to XY, you will see the coordinates, whatever coordinates are set on the display right now are already here. So once you drag and drop it here, they are all set. If you're going to be changing the size of your sprite, it is good you set it by saying, coming to look and setting the size. So here we have set it to 90. So I am not planning to change the size at all in this project. So I can do without using it. But if you're going to be changing sizes anywhere, you want to make sure initially you're setting it right. These are called the initialization values. Is the settings what you want initially to be set. Now we're going to come to the butterfly. So the same event, when backdrop switches to scene, I want the butterfly to kind of be like this and not be straight. So I'm going to tilt it a little bit like this. Okay, so direction is 126. That's point and direction. So I will set it to 126. I'm going to, on motion, I'm going to also set its initial position. And I'm going to say it is going to be visible. So show. Now I want it to just glide and come and first sit here, then hop here and then hop here. So 3 motions I'm going to do. Now for motions, you will see that glide, go to and move. These are the most popular and easy ways, the blocks which are provided for motion. And you can play with each of them to see how you want to use them. So if I want it to glide and come and sit here, first I will glide it here because it will get the position of X and Y. And then I can just say you glide for 1 second and come and sit here. After that, I will make it glide and maybe sit here. So now you see the position is changed and I'm going to put another glide. And then I'm going to eventually make it glide and sit here. So I've got a third glide. Now, when you've done some particular coding, it's a good time to play and see what happens. So you click on the green flag and you see it moved about. I would have liked to see it sit there for a little while. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come to control block and I'm going to use wait. And I just want it to wait for maybe 0.5 seconds at each place. Because there's going to be other stuff also happening in the scene. So it will wait, it will wait, it will wait. Yeah. Now this butterfly, it does have another costume. If we want, we will be able to change to it. But right now I just want to keep it to this costume. Now you will notice if in costume, I select this, This is what I will see here. But in the code right now, I have not set any costume. So if I play green, this is the costume it will show. If I want to make sure what costume I want in this scene, I want to make sure I use in looks switch costume. So I switch costume to A. Now it doesn't matter what costume is selected and what you're seeing right now. What is most important is when you click on the green flag, it is this costume which is going to be visible. Now with this butterfly gliding gracefully, let's look at our crow. Now when backdrop switches to here, we want this crow to be positioned here. So we're going to use go to, and then we are going to show it. And also what we are going to do is, you can learn one more thing. I don't want it to go behind the tree. I want it to be visible. So I'm going to say go to front layer. Okay. Now if we look at motion, even though glide seems to be the right motion for the crow, it is going to, let's just make it glide a little bit. Let's make it glide till here. Yeah. And then we are going to have it glide till here. Okay, it's too fast. You can see glide takes a parameter how many seconds we want it to glide. So we can make it kind of glide slowly. Now while it is gliding, I don't want it, like crow is not just going to glide like that. It is going to open its wing. And if you see, we've got these beautiful costumes of it flying. So if you look at D, E, yeah, we wanted to show these costumes. Now how to show costumes? It's all through switch costume. Yeah. So if you're switching costume, we said D and E. Switch costume D and switch costume E. So if you just click on these blocks, see, you can see it, you cannot see it switching. You know why? It's not that the code is not executing. It is just that our human eyes are not able to perceive it. It's too fast. How to slow it down? So we're going to put a weight in between. Now this is 0.5 is too much. I'm going to make it 0.3. So I'm going to put a 0.3 here and I'm going to set a 0.3 here. Okay, now can you see? It's gliding gracefully. Now, if I put this code after glide or before glide, first it will happen and then it will glide. That's not what I want to do. I want this to happen while it is gliding. So when I want something to happen together, I'm going to just repeat the event, same event again. When backdrop switches to scene, I also wanted to start doing this, but I want to do it a few times, not just once. So I go to control, I use the repeat loop and I put this 10 times. So now let's see what happens. Now if I just click on this code, only this will happen. So the best way to do is click on the green flag. So you see your butterfly gliding, your crow gliding so beautifully. There it is. A few extra times. So you can just make it maybe 8. But we're going to glide it further down. So we'll probably be increasing it actually. So let's just make it come down and sit on the basket. So when it sits on the basket eventually, we also will change the costume. So first we're going to have it glide down. And after that, we're going to go to look and change its costume. Now let's make it, this was already 10 times. I think it should work. Let's just see. It was too many extra times. So let's keep it 8. Oh, see, I got the wrong costume selected. I meant it to be A. I think it's still a little extra. I'll make it 7 times only. Yeah. Position is not so perfect. I think this is where it should glide to, right? So 157. I can do it manually also. The last glide I wanted to happen 157 and 1. Now this is the point. You can do full screen and look at your scene. Yeah. Okay. Now let's do something with our frog. So I'm going to click on frog. So again, did we say we're going to make it slightly smaller? Maybe 15. You know the drill now. When backdrop switches to scene, we want the position to be set. So with the frog, we're going to set the start here. Now when backdrop switches to scene, we're going to set its initial position here, right? And then we're going to make sure that we show it. We're going to be using the same size, but we could have done it 15. And now we just wanted to move straight all the way till here. So we haven't used move block, so let's just maybe use this now. So we want to, if you click on move, can you see it just moves a little bit? So now you know we can use the repeat block if you want to move it many times. Because when we move it each time, we could have, okay, so one thing is we could have just done move 100. So in one go it will reach here. But if you wanted to show it moving a little by little, then we can keep this move 10 and we can repeat it 10 times. But what's the more important thing is we need a little bit of weight. So maybe 0.2. Yeah, so we can make it 15. Right on. Now frogs don't necessarily actually just move like that. They do a little bit of hopping, right? So if we want to make it hop, what do? We want to change the Y. If you haven't watched the XY coordinates tutorial, it's a must watch. Motion. So we're going to go to motion and we're going to change Y by 10, move by 10 and then change Y by minus 10 again. So that it doesn't, the gravity is going to work on the frog too. So it has to come down. Okay, again as we said, it's happening but our eyes are not able to perceive it. So what do we need? We need the weight. We need the weight. Do you see it hopping and coming now? The weight seems too much. We can make it 0.1. 0.2 here. Okay, so let's see what all is moving now. And why not add a little bit of nice music when everything is happening? We can even add a croak to the crow and a chirping to the birds. So what are we going to do? I'm just going to click on backdrop code. It looks a little too empty. So let's add the sounds here. You can actually add the sound anywhere. So I'm going to come to sound and I'm going to choose some animal sounds here. So maybe a little bit of chatter, a little bit of chirp. So we'll add some chirp. Okay. I think the chirp and the chatter is good. So I'm going to take the same event when backdrop switches to scene, and I'm just going to keep playing these sounds, chatter and chirp. If you want to play them one after the other, you do it like this. If you want both of the sounds to happen together, you play it like this. The sound did stop a little too early, so what you can do is you can actually just let it keep playing. So we can use just a forever loop here in both. So till you keep watching it. And there you go. Now you can do something with the swan. You can get more animals if you want and make your scene the way you want it. So you've learned how to move, how to use go-to positions to set things, how to glide, how to change the costumes to make the motion look more real. You have learned how to add a type. I'm going to share this project. That means anybody can come, access this, remix it, and add on to it. Ta-da!